Shri Guru Datta.
Jai Guru Datta, 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 Shri Guru Datta.
Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Shri Saraswatyai Namaha, Shri Padavallabha Narasimha Saraswati, Shri Guru Dattatreya Namaha, Shri Ganapati Satchidananda Sadguru Bhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Guru Datta and welcome to Datta Arpanam with your hosts Rishi Nirvan Balrup
and Ravita Singh. Jai Guru Datta, Swagatam, and thank you for tuning in to Datta Arpanam, a showcase of the life, music and teachings of His Holiness Parama Pujya Dr. Shri 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 Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji of Avadhuta Dattapitam in Mysuru. Today's program begins with the offering of pranams, gratitude, and this invocation prayer at the sacred feet of beloved Sadguru Deva Pujya Shri Swamiji, as this program, possible only through His divine grace, is offered to him. Please join Pujya Shri 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 Datta Vijayananda Tirtha Swamiji now in worship.
Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Shri Saraswatyai Namaha, Shri Padavallabha Narasimha Saraswati, Shri Guru Dattatreya Namaha, Shri Ganapati Satchidananda Sadguru Bhyo Namaha. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gururdevo Maheshwarah, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Bhuyuta Shri Hari Chinnhitabhyam Agastya Rekhadi Bhiranchitabhyam Nigodha Bijakshara Mudritabhyam Namo Namah Sadguru Padukabhyam. Ganapati Gurumekam Satchidanandarupam Vibhudharivahasevyam Yogamargadhirudham Sharanamupagatanam Sanghadrivajram Mama Hridaya Nivasam Bhaktinamro Namami Bhaktinamro Namami.
Once again, everyone, Swagatam, and thank you for tuning in to this morning's edition of Datta Arpanam. Today's program is being brought to you through the kind courtesy of Ramlal Educational Institute of No. 12 Exchange Lots Coover, Valini's Drug Mart Limited of 58-60 Sutton Street, San Fernando, Debe Supermart Limited of 182 SS Erin Road, Debe, and Koke Supermart Limited of 14 Naparima Miaro Road, San Fernando.
Parama Pujya Sri Swamiji, or Ganapati Swamiji as Pujya Sri Swamiji recently said we can address him, Ganapati Swamiji has said that he teaches us by silently communicating with our hearts. We hear his voice in our hearts telling us what is right and what is wrong. Another way he communicates is through music, as we have seen over the past 8 weeks when, during his North American tour, once a week for the past 8 weeks up to yesterday evening, the ever-compassionate Ganapati Swamiji has, each week, held another Chikitsa session or a music for meditation and healing session in each of 8 different cities.
But while Sri Swamiji, who is fondly referred to world over as Appaji, while Appaji teaches through silent heart-to-heart communication as well as music, he has said that for the more difficult lessons, he teaches by setting an example for us. And so, today on Datta Arpanam, we will look at a short excerpt from the life story of Pujya Sri Swamiji and see how, by including this story in his biography, Pujya Appaji has ensured that lessons come to us by the example he sets.
That's right. As far as stories go, today's excerpt is not a long, flowery story, but by sharing it, Pujya Appaji has taught us some important lessons to help us to not only navigate this worldly life, but also to navigate samsara, or the cycle of birth and death.
Before commencing today's story, however, as is customary, let us join in invoking the blessings of Lord Ganapati. Please open the Bhajanmala app or visit the website www.bhajanmala.com. Enter Bhajan ID number 6 and join in worshipping the remover of obstacles, Lord Ganapati.
Vande Prashna Ganeshwaram Vidinutam Gauri Sutam Bhaswaram Gauri Sutam Bhaswaram Vande Prashna Ganeshwaram Vidinutam Gauri Sutam Bhaswaram Gauri Sutam Bhaswaram Papagram Parameshwaranka Vasatim Brahmana Madhyam Vibhum Brahmana Madhyam Vibhum Papagram Parameshwaranka Vasatim Brahmana Madhyam Vibhum Vande Prashna Ganeshwaram Vidinutam Gauri Sutam Bhaswaram Gauri Sutam Bhaswaram Papagnam Parameshwaranka Vasatim Brahmana Madhyam Vibhum Brahmana Madhyam Vibhum
Vande Prashna Ganeshwaram Vidisudam Gauri Sutam Bhaswaram Gauri Sutam Bhaswaram
Valli Nayaka Sodaram Suruchiram Yoga Pradam Hastinam Yoga Pradam Hastinam Valli Nayaka Sodaram Suruchiram Yoga Pradam Hastinam Yoga Pradam Hastinam
Vande Prashna Ganeshwaram
Vidinutam Gauri Sutam Bhaswaram Gauri Sutam Bhaswaram Vidyavaridi Marka Koti Lasanam Sri Satchidananditam Sri Satchidananditam
Vidyavaridi Marka Koti Lasanam Sri Satchidananditam Sri Satchidananditam Vande Prashna Ganeshwaram
Vidinutam
Gauri Sutam Bhaswaram Gauri Sutam Bhaswaram.
A Lord Ganapati bhajan set to the beautiful and therapeutic Kapi Ragam by the maestro of music, Paramapujya Sri Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji. You were just listening to Ganapati Swamiji here on Datta Arpanam. Thank you for tuning in to this morning's offering, which is coming to you on 103.1 FM through the grace of Sri Swamiji, and thanks to the sponsorship by Ramlal Educational Institute, DB Supermart Limited, Valini's Drug Mart Limited, and Kokie Supermart Limited.
Ganapati Swamiji, in his Purvashrama or pre-ascetic days, was known as Satyanarayana. When Satyanarayana was only 19 years of age, he already had a very busy and full schedule of daily activities. He would wake up at 1 a.m., have his bath, and then do japam until 3 a.m.
And listeners, imagine that. A 19-year-old waking up at 1 a.m. to do japam for almost 2 hours. This definitely was a clue as to Satyanarayana's divinity. While physically he wore the body of a typical 19-year-old young man, the truth is that he was the Avadhuta of Lord Dattatreya, the Holy Trinity of Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva.
To this day, if you sit and watch Puja Appaji's hand before or during a program, you will often see that divine hand of his constantly moving the beads of a small japamala as he mentally chants mantras. Other times, you may not see his hand moving, but his lips might move, continuously but ever so slightly.
Both of these scenarios, the scenario when a 19-year-old Satyanarayana would wake up well before dawn to ensure he had time for japam, and the present-day scenario where we see evidence of Ganapati Swamiji chanting mantras at every opportunity, these scenarios show us the importance and value which he ascribes to chanting mantras. In fact, just recently, his second-in-command, Sri Datta Vijayananda Tirtha Swamiji, was saying that just like electronic devices need charging, we also need charging. Mantra japam is how we charge ourselves, how we recharge our battery, so to speak. And another important note is that while yes, it is important to say your mantras, there is additional benefit to doing mantra japam specifically. The chanting of the mantra is both uplifting and calming to the mind, while the japam, so moving the japamala beads with your fingers, helps to bring the senses under control. So try your best to do mantra japam daily. When you are finished, wear the mala for a little time, but then store it somewhere clean. Try to ensure that when you are doing your japam, your mala is not visible to others. Puja Appaji has said that when others see your japamala while you are doing that japam, the punya or the merit of performing that japam goes not to the person chanting the mantra, but to the one whose eyes saw that mala while the japam was being formed. So everyone, use your japamala, use it well, use it carefully, use it to do mantra japam.
Over the years, Puja Appaji has given us so many mantras to chant, both for our personal benefit and for universal benefit. But how many of us take the time to chant these mantras every day? Om Namo Hanumate Namaha, Om Aim Hrim Shrim Shivarama Anagha Dattaya Namaha, Shri Ram Jai Siya Ram, the Thomas Min mantra, and Shivaya Rudraya Namaha are just a few of the mantras with which Puja Appaji has blessed us. We have received Upadesham directly from the mouth of an Avadhuta, so make time to chant these mantras.
And remember too to especially chant your Guru mantra. As Sri Swamiji has said on the free app SGS Post, firm up Guru mantra in your mind. And what is the best way to do this? It's simple. Chant your Guru mantra daily. Chant it as often as possible and chant it with focus and surrender.
And another daily practice which we should adopt with focus and surrender is Divya Nama Sankirtanam, or singing divine names. So before we move on with today's story, let us join together and worship Mother Goddess through song. Please open the Bhajanmala app or website to Bhajan ID number 639 and join in this musical offering.
ऐं ह्रीं श्रीं श्रीं ह्रीं मैं गिरिवरजा गिरिशयुता ऐं ह्रीं श्रीं श्रीं ह्रीं मैं गिरिवरजा गिरिशयुता ऐं ह्रीं श्रीं श्रीं ह्रीं मैं मम हृदये निवसतु सा ऐं ह्रीं श्रीं श्रीं ह्रीं मैं मम हृदये निवसतु सा मंत्रमयी यंत्रमयी तंत्रमयी निगममयी ॐ ऐं ह्रीं श्रीं ललिताम्बायै नमः ॐ ऐं ह्रीं श्रीं ललिताम्बायै नमः ॐ ऐं ह्रीं श्रीं ललिताम्बायै नमः मन्त्रमयी यन्त्रमयी तन्त्रमयी निगममयी मामवतादिति प्रसृतकरो रोधिमि बहुकरुणं मामवतादिति प्रसृतकरो रोधिमि बहुकरुणं मयि सारय तव करुणा लोचनमीश्वरि भव शरणं मयि सारय तव करुणा लोचनमीश्वरि भव शरणम् ऐं ह्रीं श्रीं श्रीं ह्रीं मैं गिरिवरजा गिरिशयुता ऐं ह्रीं श्रीं श्रीं ह्रीं मैं मम हृदये निवसतु सा व्योमगता भूमिगता सर्वगता ननु जननी भूमिगता सर्वगता ननु जननी सैव सदा स्वयमनुषुगता गोळगणेषु च परिवितता सैव सदा स्वयमनुषुगता गोळगणेषु च परिवितता इति चेतसि सन्ततमनुविदिता सा मयि सादरमतिरवतु इति चेतसि सन्ततमनुविदिता सा मयि सादरमतिरवतु ऐं ह्रीं श्रीं श्रीं ह्रीं मैं गिरिवरजा गिरिशयुता ऐं ह्रीं श्रीं श्रीं ह्रीं मैं मम हृदये निवसतु सा वेदनुता बोधमता चित्तमिता स्वयममिता वेदनुता
महादेव्यै च विद्महे विष्णुपत्न्यै च धीमहि तन्नो लक्ष्मीः प्रचोदयात्
वेदनुता बोधमता चित्तमिता स्वयममिता निर्द्वय निष्क्रिय निरुपमपा मोहकराचिति वपुरमला निर्द्वय निष्क्रिय निरुपमपा मोहकराचिति वपुरमला घनवेदलताग्रलतान्तप्रिया संवृत सच्चिदानन्दा घनवेदलताग्रलतान्तप्रिया संवृत सच्चिदानन्दा ऐं ह्रीं श्रीं श्रीं ह्रीं मैं गिरिवरजा गिरिशयुता ऐं ह्रीं श्रीं श्रीं ह्रीं मैं गिरिवरजा गिरिशयुता ऐं ह्रीं श्रीं श्रीं ह्रीं मैं मम हृदये निवसतु सा ऐं ह्रीं श्रीं श्रीं ह्रीं मैं मम हृदये निवसतु सा
What power is contained within that bhajan, which is laden with beej mantras and set to the highly therapeutic Latanta Priya Ragam? What power is added to that bhajan when it is sung by the present-day Avaduta of Lord Dattatreya, Paramapujya Sri Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji? And what further power is added to it when we all join together to sing it as we just did?
Pujya Appaji or Ganapati Swamiji has said that when we sing or chant as a group, each person reaps the benefit of not only his own singing or chanting, but each person reaps the benefit of the singing or chanting of everyone who participated. So, for example, if one person chants a mantra 108 times, he reaps the benefit of chanting that mantra 108 times. But if 10 people join together to chant that same mantra 108 times, each person reaps the benefit of chanting that mantra 10 by 108 times. In other words, each person reaps the benefit of chanting that mantra 1080 times.
How blessed we are that Paramapujya Sri Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji, using Datta Arpanam as a medium, has made it possible for us all to gather together every Sunday morning to contemplate together, chant together, and sing together. Thank you to each of you who has joined us for this morning's hour of devotion, which is coming to you on 103.1 FM through the grace of Pujya Sri Swamiji, and thanks to the sponsorship by Valini's Drug Mart Limited, Ramlal Educational Institute, Debe Supermart Limited, and Kokie Supermart Limited.
Today you heard that at the age of 19 years, Pujya Sri Swamiji, known then as Satyanarayana, would wake up at 1 a.m. and after taking his bath, he would do japam until 3 a.m.
From 3 a.m. to 4 a.m., Satyanarayana would do his daily puja, and then at 4 a.m., reminding us that he is Sri Krishna, Satyanarayana would attend to the cows and start his morning duty of supplying milk.
At 8 a.m., Satyanarayana would make time in his busy schedule to teach children. And listeners, again, we can learn something from the actions of that then 19-year-old. No matter how busy we are, we should always make time for selfless service. Make time to give back to society. And giving back can take many forms. It can be sharing your wealth, or your food, or your time, or your knowledge. It can be helping an elderly person by giving up your seat for them, or smiling with a worker who does not seem like they want to be at work today. It is not the size or the grandeur of an action that matters. It is the intention that does.
You heard that at 8 a.m., Satyanarayana would teach children. Then, come 10 a.m., he would attend to any bookkeeping, making wicks, or any religious duties, depending on what needed to be done. Now, mind you, Satyanarayana was only 19 years of age at this time. He still had his SSLC, or Secondary School Leaving Certificate exams to pass. But while by midday he would be finished with his morning activities, at that stage, he would just be too tired to read or study.
At 2 p.m., he would attend to his duties in the cowshed, and, if time permitted, he would teach yoga to children. And once again, we see and we learn not only the art of giving selflessly, as Satyanarayana was doing by teaching the children yoga, but we also see the importance he placed, even at the age of 19, on guiding the younger generation into healthy and productive habits.
Listeners, for those of you who are listening and may have kids, and especially for those of you who are listening and may have grandkids, because face it, we all know grandparents tend to be much more lenient than parents. If we want those kids to turn into responsible, diligent, and law-abiding adult citizens, then it is important to not only lead them along the right path from a young age, but also to lead by example as Satyanarayana did. Pujya Sri Swamiji has repeatedly said that we cannot tell a child to pray or to go to temple and expect them to do so if we are not doing so ourselves and setting an example for them. Children learn largely by what in psychology is called modeling. And no, there are no catwalks in this type of modeling. What this type of modeling means is children mimic the actions of the adults who surround them. So let your actions be actions which you would want to see performed by the generations coming up behind you.
If you do not want to hear your children cursing, then do not curse. If you do not want to see them throwing tantrums every time they do not get their way, then learn to control your own temper. If you would like to see them learn Bhagavad Gita, then study Bhagavad Gita yourself. If you would like to hear them singing bhajans more often, then you sing bhajans at every available opportunity. In fact, let us create one such opportunity right now. Please open your Bhajanmala app or visit the website www.bhajanmala.com once again. This time, enter Bhajan ID number 245 and join Trinidadian-born devotee Ashok Yankaran in singing this beautiful and captivating Hindi bhajan.
नाम जपो रे दत्ता नाम जपो रे नाम जपो रे दत्ता नाम जपो रे दत्ता नाम जपो जय गुरु दत्ता नाम जपो रे। श्री गुरु दत्ता जय गुरु दत्ता नाम जपो रे। श्री गुरु दत्ता जय गुरु दत्ता नाम जपो रे। श्री गुरु दत्ता जय गुरु दत्ता नाम जपो रे। नाम जपो रे दत्ता नाम जपो रे। नाम जपो रे दत्ता नाम जपो रे। संत सज्जन सांगा मैं मिलू रे। संत सज्जन सांगा मैं मिलू रे। संत सज्जन सांगा मैं मिलू रे। सद्गुरु स्वामी पूजा भजन करो रे। सद्गुरु स्वामी पूजा भजन करो रे। भजन करो रे भजन करो रे। भजन करो रे भजन करो रे। श्री गुरु दत्ता जय गुरु दत्ता नाम जपो रे। श्री गुरु दत्ता जय गुरु दत्ता नाम जपो रे। श्री गुरु दत्ता जय गुरु दत्ता नाम जपो रे। श्री गुरु दत्ता जय गुरु दत्ता नाम जपो रे। नाम जपो रे दत्ता नाम जपो रे। नाम जपो रे दत्ता नाम जपो रे। श्याम कहो नाम जपो राधा बोल रे। श्याम कहो नाम जपो राधा बोल रे। राधा श्याम कहो नाम जपो राधा बोल रे। श्याम कहो नाम जपो राधा बोल रे। श्री रमण वासुदेव भजन करो रे। श्री रमण वासुदेव भजन करो रे। भजन करो रे भजन करो रे। भजन करो रे भजन करो रे। श्री गुरु दत्ता जय गुरु दत्ता नाम जपो रे। श्री गुरु दत्ता जय गुरु दत्ता नाम जपो रे। नाम जपो रे दत्ता नाम जपो रे। नाम जपो रे दत्ता नाम जपो रे। हरे राम हरे कृष्ण नाम जपो रे। हरे राम हरे कृष्ण नाम जपो रे। गोविंद सच्चिदानंद भजन करो रे। गोविंद सच्चिदानंद भजन करो रे। गोविंद गोविंद सच्चिदानंद भजन करो रे। 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 श्री गुरु दत्ता जय गुरु दत्ता नाम जपो रे। श्री गुरु दत्ता जय गुरु दत्ता नाम जपो रे। श्री गुरु दत्ता जय गुरु दत्ता नाम जपो रे। श्री गुरु दत्ता जय गुरु दत्ता नाम जपो रे। नाम जपो रे दत्ता नाम जपो रे। नाम जपो रे दत्ता नाम जपो रे। नाम जपो रे दत्ता नाम जपो रे। श्री गुरु दत्ता जय गुरु दत्ता नाम जपो रे। श्री गुरु दत्ता जय गुरु दत्ता नाम जपो रे। श्री गुरु दत्ता जय गुरु दत्ता नाम जपो रे। श्री गुरु दत्ता जय गुरु दत्ता नाम जपो रे। नाम जपो रे दत्ता नाम जय गुरुदत्ता नाम जपो रे श्री गुरुदत्ता जय गुरुदत्ता नाम जपो रे नाम जपो
What devotion and love for Dattatreya Swamiji are palpable when we listen to devotee Ashok Yankaran sing that beautiful bhajan. You are tuned in to Datta Arpanam on 103.1 FM. This morning's program is coming to you through the grace of Paramapujya Sri Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji and thanks to the sponsorship by Valini's Drug Mart Limited, Ramlal Educational Institute, Debe Supermart Limited, and Kokie Supermart Limited. Today you have been hearing about how busy Ganapati Swamiji was even at the age of 19. But though his schedule of daily activities was packed, he would not abandon any of his jobs.
And listeners, again, here we learn an important lesson. Puja Sri Swamiji or Puja Appaji was very busy, yet he made time for spiritual practices. This is like a tonic for us. Have you ever noticed that the kids who seem to spend the most time in the temples do the best in their exams? Or the adults who are going from house to house doing satsangs and pujas seem to have an unending source of energy. That energy, whether mental or physical, is divine energy. When we engage in sadhana or spiritual practices, we open the door to accessing that energy. So never cite being too busy as your reason to not engage in sadhana. You already heard today that it is not the size of the service that matters, but the mindset with which it is done. Even if you spend 5 minutes meditating upon the self or the Paramatman within, that will benefit you in this journey called life.
In Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna did not tire of Arjuna's questions because Arjuna showed a genuine interest, a keenness in learning about Paramatman. So too, listeners, if we show a genuine interest in attaining that state of liberation or moksha, and if we work towards it from now, then as Pujya Sri Swamiji says, if you take one step towards him or towards God, he, God, will take 1,000 steps towards you. Put in the effort. Do not say, I will do that later in life when I have more time maybe. Make the time now. None of us knows what tomorrow will bring. Every day, somewhere in this world, someone dies a premature death. Hopefully, that will not be the case for any of us, but the truth is that we do not know. So use your God-given time well. Sri Swamiji is an avadhuta, yet he never becomes complacent and wastes precious time. He is teaching us by example by putting every moment to good use, even when he was young.
Satyanarayana, knowing that his exams were coming up, did put in some efforts as far as reading and studying were concerned. But his exams started in September, and before those exams, the annual Ganapati festival started. In the Kesare colony, the area where Satyanarayana lived, even though it was supposed to be Navaratri, the community celebrated Ganapati festival for one entire month. They assembled nearly 100 murtis of Ganesha and conducted pujas daily.
Every day they would organize harikathas and dramas, etc. to entertain the public. The youth in the colony took a deep interest and worked all through the month. They collected the funds from the public for the function. The bully of the area, Dwaraka, was the main organizer, and Satyanarayana was the priest or the pandit. And listeners, here another lesson is learned. Unless we give the younger generation an opportunity to lead, then how will they learn? We should not dismiss them thinking they are too young. Recently, on Pujya Appaji's North American tour, it was striking how the host and hostess of almost all ceremonies were young adults. We should inspire confidence in the youth and give them opportunities to engage in good practices. Encourage them to plan productively and carry out those plans.
All the youths of Kesari were so busy with their respective duties during the Ganapati festival that they did not have time to read or study. Parvati Amma, Satyanarayana's maternal aunt, wanted to remind Satya of his studies and the impending exams, but it was impossible to catch him. And when she did manage to catch him, he would say, "Wait and see if I pass or not."
That September, in the year 1961, Satyanarayana passed his SSLC or Secondary School Leaving Certificate exams. Now his aunt Parvati Amma had a new worry. She needed to find him a job and persuade him to take the job. She questioned why he should continue to be a priest and insisted that he found a job. She pestered him constantly, hoping that he would consider her suggestions.
Parvati Amma begged many acquaintances to find Satyanarayana a suitable job. She remembered that the owner of the wood depot, Lakshmaya, had a mill. She went to his wife, Lakshmi Devamma, and asked her to ask her husband to get a job for Satya at the mill.
"Our Satya," said Parvati Amma, "our Satya is roaming about freely since passing his exams. We have loans to repay. Can you please get your husband to find a job for Satya?"
Lakshmi Devamma liked Satya, and so she put in a good word for him. Her husband, Lakshmaya, told Parvati Amma that a job at the mill was not a job for a Brahmin. "People need to be trained in this field from childhood," he said, "but I cannot say no to you, so let him come and learn the trade. If he is good at it, I will talk to my partners and get him a job."
Parvati Amma told Satyanarayana about the job offer, and Satyanarayana gave her a sarcastic smile. "Okay," he said, "let me give it a go."
Satyanarayana went to the factory to learn the work. Parvati Amma was not a foolish lady. She knew that this job was not a proper job for Satya, but she had her own reasons for making him accept this job.
You see, Parvati Amma had noticed some changes in Satyanarayana. From the day of Vinayaka Chaturthi, Satyanarayana was conducting puja without any fear or hesitation. He would suddenly go stiff, and when told off, he would say, "I had to rescue the ones who believed in me." And listeners, what powerful words these are. I had to rescue the ones who believed in me. They not only show us what Ganapati Swamiji is capable of, but they also give us a glimpse into his compassion and the power of faith. Swamiji saving us does not have to mean that we will never face a challenge in life, but with his grace and with firm belief in him, any challenge becomes tolerable. Any problem becomes surmountable. Instead of samsara being like a vast ocean, it becomes like a little tiny narrow drain, easy to cross.
But how do we develop such faith? Well, start by daily spending some time reading Sri Swamiji's discourses. There are many available on the Datta Vani website, www.dattavani.org. That is www.dattavani.org. Watch Appaji's live streams on Avadhuta Dattapitam's Facebook page. Daily read his posts on the free app SJS Posts. Spend some time thinking about him, speaking to him heart to heart, worshipping him. Before you eat, offer him some of the food. Engage in charity, chant mantras, sing bhajans, chant Vishnu Sahasranama, Lalita Sahasranama, and Bhagavad Gita. And when you chant, offer the phalam or fruit of that chanting to him. As you heard last week, he knows best how to utilize the fruit. Do it all just as an offering to him. Do it all with the sole purpose of pleasing him. Do not do it for selfish reward. Have the faith that he knows what is best, and so we do not ever have to ask him for anything.
Satyanarayana, since Vinayaka Chaturthi, had reduced his involvement in other activities like Harikatha, going to temples, drama, etc. He was not spending much time in general conversation. And again, this is a lesson for us. No one is saying do not be social, but avoid speaking unnecessarily. Avoid getting involved in gossip. Spend time going within and let your main conversations be heart-to-heart conversations with God, with Guru. When you are at temple, instead of rushing to chat with the person sitting beside you as soon as puja is finished, or in between bhajans, or while Pandit is waiting for someone to bring something, close your eyes and meditate.
People had made several comments on the change of behavior in Satyanarayana. Parvati Amma wanted to get him into a daily routine, and so she wanted to find him any job. She was aware that this job was not a big job for him.
Satyanarayana went to the factory. The weaving machines were spinning quickly. He whistled in tune with the noise of the spinning. The co-workers showed him the work. He was slowly spinning the spinning wheel. As he continued to whistle while spinning, the whistled tune soon turned into words, Rama, Krishna, Vasudeva, Ananta. Satyanarayana was himself surprised to hear himself singing these words to a tune.
And listeners, again we are taught valuable lessons. First of all, it is never a bad time to chant the name of the Lord. Every moment is a moment with which He has blessed us. So every moment is a moment worth spending praising Him. But also, when we have a task to do, that task becomes so easy, so seamless, so enjoyable if we do it while singing the names of God.
I know for me, when I have a sink full of dishes to do, I look at it and try to, instead of feeling a sense of dread, ask myself how many Hanuman Chalisas I can chant in the time it takes to do these dishes. And before you know it, the dishes get done and it did not seem like such a mammoth task.
And that is such a simple yet practical application of the lesson being taught here. So everyone, let us learn from Satyanarayana and let music, good music, uplifting music, help us to get through our daily tasks. Recently, Pujya Appaji has reiterated his instruction for us to chant one chapter of Bhagavad Gita daily. Do it even if you are cooking, bathing. Just do not waste any precious time. Chant, chant, chant.
Satyanarayana spent 15 days learning the work at the mill. On the 16th day, something inexplicable happened. Suddenly, a scream burst forth from him. Colleagues ran over to him and found him and the floor covered with blood. The tip of the little finger of his right hand had been chopped off and it was bleeding profusely. Satyanarayana was coolly trying to affix the chopped tip back to the finger. His colleagues immediately took him to the doctor.
The tip of Satyanarayana's finger had reattached to the rest of the finger, but it was slightly bent to one side. Thanks to the help from his aunt, even though he did not earn a penny, Satyanarayana then had a rest for 1 month. During that rest period, no one could disturb him or criticize him. But even more than that, the rest period gave Satyanarayana time to contemplate on the life of a weaver. He had learned through practical experience the problems faced by the workers. He was thankful to his aunt for the 2 benefits he received as a result of her efforts in finding him a job. He now had a period of rest, and he had time to reflect on the life of a weaver.
And listeners, again we learn a lesson. We learn that to really understand what someone is going through, we must have experienced it ourselves. So the next time you see someone who you think should be handling a situation better, refrain from judging them. If anything, see if there's a way that you can politely and unobtrusively help them. But do not judge others. None of us knows the full extent of what someone else is going through. If Sadhguru Deva loves all beings equally, who are we to condemn or to criticize others?
And with that, everyone, today's excerpt from Puja Sri Swamiji's biography comes to a close. But before we begin to wrap up today's program, let us once again spend some time in Nama Sankirtanam.
கண்ணா கோபால கண்ணா மாதவ கண்ணா எங்கள் யாதவ கண்ணா
கோவிந்த கண்ணா கோபால கண்ணா எங்கள் யாதவ கண்ணா கோவிந்த கண்ணா கோபால கண்ணா
மாதவ கண்ணா எங்கள் யாதவ கண்ணா
கண்ணா கோபால கண்ணா மாதவ கண்ணா எங்கள் யாதவ கண்ணா
கோவிந்த ராமா ராமா கோவிந்த ராமா கோபால ராமா மாதவ ராமா எங்கள் ரகுகூல ராமா
கோவிந்த ராமா கோபால ராமா மாதவ ராமா எங்கள் ரகுகூல ராமா
ஹரே கோவிந்த ராதே கோபால ராதே மாதவ ராதே எங்கள் பிருந்தாவன் ராதே
கோவிந்த ராதே கோபால ராதே மாதவ ராதே எங்கள் பிருந்தாவன ராதே
கோவிந்த கண்ணா கோபால கண்ணா மாதவ கண்ணா எங்கள் யாதவ கண்ணா
எங்கள் யாதவ கண்ணா
கோவிந்த சீதா சீதா கோவிந்த சீதா கோபால சீதா மாதவ சீதா எங்கள ரகுகூல சீதா
கோவிந்த சீதா கோபால சீதா மாதவ சீதா எங்கள் ரகுகூல சீதா
கோவிந்த கோபி கோபால கோபி மாதவ கோபி எங்கள் யாதவ கோபி
கோவிந்த கோபி கோபால கோபி மாதவ கோபி எங்கள் யாதவ கோபி கோவிந்த கண்ணா கோபால கண்ணா மாதவ கண்ணா எங்கள் யாதவ
கோவிந்த ருக்குமா 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 கோவிந்த ருக்குமா கோபால ருக்குமா மாதவ ருக்குமா எங்கள் யாதவ ருக்குமா
கோவிந்த ருக்குமா கோபால ருக்குமா மாதவ ருக்குமா எங்கள் யாதவ ருக்குமா
கோவிந்த குரு கோபால குரு கோவிந்த குரு கோபால குரு மாதவ குரு எங்கள் யாதவ குரு
மாதவ குரு எங்கள் யாதவ குரு கோவிந்த கண்ணா கோபால கண்ணா மாதவ கண்ணா எங்கள் யாதவ கண்ணா
கோவிந்த தத்தா கோபால தத்தா
கோவிந்த தத்தா கோபால தத்தா
மாதவ தத்தா எங்கள் ஆத்ர ஆத்ரேய தத்தா
மாதவ தத்தா எங்கள்
ஆத்ரேய தத்தாரே கோவிந்தானந்தா கோபாலனந்தா மாதவானந்தா எங்கள் சச்சிதானந்தா
கோவிந்தானந்தா கோபாலனந்தா மாதவானந்தா எங்கள் சச்சிதானந்தா கோவிந்த கண்ணா கோபால கண்ணா மாதவ கண்ணா எங்கள் யாதவ கோவிந்த கண்ணா கோபால கண்ணா மாதவ கண்ணா எங்கள் யாதவ கண்ணா கோவிந்த கண்ணா கோபால கண்ணா மாதவ கண்ணா எங்கள் யாதவ கண்ணா கோவிந்த கண்ணா கோபால கண்ணா மாதவ கண்ணா எங்கள் யாதவ கண்ணா கோவிந்த கண்ணா கோபால மாதவ கண்ணா எங்கள் யாதவ கோவிந்தானந்தா கோபாலானந்தா கோவிந்தானந்தா கோபாலானந்தா மாதவானந்தா எங்கள் சச்சிதானந்தா மாதவானந்தா எங்கள் சச்சிதானந்தா கோவிந்த கண்ணா கோபால கண்ணா மாதவ கண்ணா எங்கள் யாதவ கண்ணா கோவிந்த கண்ணா கோபால கண்ணா மாதவ கண்ணா எங்கள் யாதவ கண்ணா கோவிந்த கண்ணா கோபால கண்ணா மாதவ கண்ணா எங்கள் யாதவ கண்ணா மாதவ கண்ணா எங்கள் யாதவ கண்ணா மாதவ கண்ணா எங்கள் யாதவ கண்ணா.
What an uplifting way to begin a week and begin to wrap up today's episode of Datta Arpanam.
Pranams and gratitude are offered at the divine feet of beloved Sadgurudeva Paramapujya Sri Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji and Sri Datta Vijayananda Tirtha Swamiji, without whose teachings, compassion, love, guidance and music this program would not exist.
Pranams to you, Puja Appaji and Sri Swamiji. Kindly forgive any errors which may have been committed in preparing or in sharing today's episode of Datta Arpanam, and please guide us to avoid such errors in the future.
Special thanks are extended to the staff at 103.1 FM and to the sponsors of Datta Arpanam, Valini's Drug Mart Limited, Ramlal Educational Institute, Debe Supermart Limited and Kokie Supermart Limited. And of course, dear listener, an extra special thank you is extended to you for sharing this devotional hour with us.
If you would like to listen to today's program again, check out the Datta Arpanam Facebook page where by tomorrow night the YouTube link for today's episode will be shared.
And once again, everyone, thank you for tuning in today. You are invited to please tune in to 103.1 FM again next Sunday at 6 a.m. Atlantic Standard Time for another episode of Datta Arpanam, a showcase of the life, music and teachings of His Holiness Paramapujya Sri Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji.
Jai Guru Datta.
Shri Guru Datta. Harihi Om Tat Sat.
Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat.